Hey guys, this is SF and welcome to Random Talk Sundays. This week it is going to be Gilgamesh and probably do 5 runs and then that will be the video, but of course that's not the main part of this video. Anyways, team's going to be Pandora, Nono, and then Alibaba. Pretty much the same. Oh, why did I keep pressing on the wrong one? But basically, not much has happened, I guess. Well, not much. But you know, there's a new Transcension. There is new Transcension. Who else is there? New Impossible for Global, aka Yamato Zero. But anyways, new Wood Transcension, Heracles, and then basically not everybody's happy with it. Just because, of course, he got 3 Slayers and then 3 Slayer M's actually, and then of course null ability. So kind of like a null. It's kind of like Lucifer or Satan, but a weaker version just because of the Slayers alone. Main reason is that Heracles is Dragon, Ethereal, and Beast. Whereas Satan is Sprite, Fiend, Deity, and I forgot the last one. I think it was Demon. I think might not be Demon, but anyways, it was another class. But the main reason is because Satan, Lucifer's Slayers, like those classes are really popular in like bosses. You know, there's a lot of Fiends. Like a lot of Impossibles are either Fiends or Deities. Fiends being like Bishamonten. I think that's the only Fiend. Wait, pretty sure there's a lot more, and I just forgot about it. But Deities, there are Izanami, Izanagi, Marishi, Skyomi, and those. Well, it's not Skyo. Satan's not really good for Skyomi, but you know what I mean. And then, you know, Sprites is meh for most of it. There is Mura, Same, and then the most recent Ultimacia. The mobs are Sprites and stuff like that. But that's not really his forte. And then, of course, I think Demon. Akala is a Demon. But all in all, that's the main reason. Like, the Slayers, like, it's not... Like, Dragon, Beast, and Ethereal are not really popular Slayers or like classes. Like I think Dragon is the most popular, but that's still pretty limited. Like, you know, I think it is Nilai Kanai. He's like Heracles is a better Nilai Kanai monster, but another people that say why not Pierce, and that's just like, you know, why not Pierce? And if he was Pierce, then he'll be like super great in Nilai Kanai, just because, you know, he is the first Dragon Slayer that is a Pierce for that dungeon. But you know, he doesn't have it. And then I guess like, and then like the Strike Shot, everybody hated the Strike Shot, although it is an 8 turn. That is somewhat kind of like Lucifer in terms of utility, I guess. In that you can avoid like gimmicks and stuff like that, so you can probably bring it to like damage walls, dungeons, and then if it's the monster that has a Slayer for it, then you can probably use that to just like stay there and not do anything. Oh, Demonmancer is for Sand. I just remember Eden. That's why he's really good in Eden, the Demonmancer Slayer. But yeah. That's what people don't really like, you know. Like EX Laser XL is nice, and then the Volatile Blast is also nice. Those are not the big problems of him. And you know, there's not many, like, for people that like Heracles was like from day one the most sought out, like the most predictive monster, and they finally got it. And then, you know, and people are being salty because it's not really great. It's better, and that's the whole point of transitions. But it's not as great as, you know, some of the other monsters, mainly like Sano, Eclipse, of course Satan, Lucifer, and those types of monsters. So I'm pretty sure, like, with all those slayers, I'm pretty sure there's gonna be dungeons. Like, they can by all means make like a colossal dungeon just for Heracles, or an impossible dungeon just for Heracles, and just like have the boss be a dragon, and then like the mobs are Aetherians and whatever. So he has potential that way, but he has no real uses for now. You can probably bring him to Mirai Kanai, but like his strike shot's kind of useless because there are laser barriers for the most part. Of course, bomb combo's kind of meh, and you know, and of course he can't get to the weak spots of enemies because he's not a Pierce monster. Like, even I think like Jack is a little bit better just because of the strike shot difference. Like, a bad strike shot in Yaikana is way better than like a laser strike shot, just because, you know, there's more places you can use it instead of just that last stage where it doesn't have any any laser barriers. And then on the topic of JP, not much else, I think. They are going to do a, they have their like the 2-year anniversary of their YouTube channel thing, and then the list has like a little week schedule of videos, like special videos, like voice actors going in, coming into the channel and then doing some voices in their Monster Strike voice, and doing whatever the users or the viewers want them to say. And I should have strike shotted for no, but whatever. And then part of that week is one of them. There are going to be 2 new character videos, like, you know, like those dev videos that some of you have seen already. One is probably going to be Heracles, because I think it's coming out very, very soon. I think it's like tomorrow or the day after. And there's also going to be one more nearing the beginning, like on the 22nd, I think, February 22nd. So you can expect something new. Might be a translation, might be a impossible or colossal. For me, I think it's going to be a translation. I don't think they're going to stack in a new impossible just on top of Final Fantasy. So you can probably get a little bit excited for that, unless they're doing something really, really crazy different. But new monster, they already like released all the Final Fantasy stuff, so it's only like the other stuff, like the non-Final Fantasy. And I thought it's going to be a new event series, so that's out of the question. And so you'll probably hope that it's going to be a new Transcension and not this one. So that's something to be happy for. Next, but that's pretty much for JP. In terms of global, Yamato Takeru 0. Yamato Takeru 0, it's going to be a hell of a dungeon, in my opinion. Some people are going to have a hard time for it. Like, they do have the best OP, I guess. Like, some say Kurama's a really good, like, the best OP, but of course NA doesn't have it, or Global doesn't have it. So that's out of the question. But I think Robin Hood's going to suffice more than enough. And it was basically the same lineup when we first got it in JP, where the OPs is either, well, I guess we didn't have Shambura, so like Global doesn't have Shambura, so I guess that's kind of out of the question. But for people doing their first Yamato Takeru 0, when I first did it, basically I haven't seen anyone win in that dungeon without either Robin Hood, Mamo, or Shambhala in their team. So that's the difficulty of the dungeon in my opinion. Like if you don't have any of the three, like you don't have to have all three, or you have a team stack of all three. As long as you have one of them, then clearing will be not that bad. It's still pretty bad, but I haven't seen anybody like during that day, like almost like 8 months ish, that cleared it without Robin Hood, Mamon, or Shambhala. And since we don't have Shambhala, so that goes out the drop monster card. But I guess that's a challenge for you guys. Beat Yamato Takeru 0 without those two monsters, Mamon or Robin Hood. I think I beat it with Robin Hood on my team. Basically, there are ways of like just positioning and stuff like that. And you can probably bring Kushinada, but Kushinada is not the main carry. Like, and if you're bringing Kushinada, do not bring a max, well I guess not max speed, because that speed bomb does a lot of damage and it is random, and it's not like those normal bombs or normal attacks where it locks on to the closest enemy. It's a random attack. Another thing you have to worry about is Benkei. Benkei is a samurai and he slays, and Yamato Takeru 0 slays samurai, so although his trick shot's really good and you can probably get lucky, but I don't really recommend it. And of course the bomb does proc the slayer and stuff like that. Like the bomb procs, it's a wood element attack, so it procs the slayer, it procs any slayers, and of course any elemental stuff. So you basically want wood monsters for the most part, and try to build your team around that. Like Ralph and stuff, Ralph Roys are recommended, but I think you should focus on wood monsters if you're really scared of taking damage and stuff like that, because he does a lot of damage. But basically build your team around low speed monsters, and then avoid the horizontal laser from Yamato Takeru, and you should be fine. Well, I guess avoiding the needle panels is going to be really bad as well, because the most rage I've seen people about that dungeon is the irregular bounces, where it just bounces you out like through, like when you're just going straight up and down onto the boss, and then you somehow leaked out, and then you hit a needle panel, and then you're just screwed. And you're just screwed. So there's that. I don't know what my team's gonna be. I want to try the Ignite, the Wood Ignite, who is a Minesweeper and a Meteor, is really good for it in general, and he has low speed as well. Like he has sub 300 speed, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna be suffice, like good enough. I wouldn't say he's gonna be a carry, but what have you. If you don't have any other farmables, then he's good. I don't really recommend Tengu that much unless it is Evolve. I think Evolve has lower speed than the Ascension. And do not bring Chainbound Jack at all costs. He has like crazy speed, and of course he takes damage through being non-wood monster. And in terms of Yamato Takeru 0 by himself, he's a really good Ashura monster. If you guys don't have the normal Yamato Takeru, like I think normal Yamato Takeru is a lot easier than Yamato Takeru 0, but for some people can't beat normal Yamato. Yay, double drop. Beat normal Yamato Takeru because they can pinch and stuff like that. So in that sense, I think Yamato Takeru 0 can be a little bit easier, but I wouldn't say he's gonna be really easy. But he is basically an Ashura monster. Like usually, like for this Zero series, it's like those monsters are really good for specific impossibles in the other, like the normal impossibles. So for example, Izami Zero is pretty much slayers for Kushinada's dungeon with the Sprite Slayer and stuff like that. And then Kushinada Zero is a Paladin Slayer, so that's good for Yamato Takeru. And now Yamato Takeru Zero is a Mech Slayer and a no damage ball monster, so really good for Ashura. Skilmi Zero is Minesweeper. And there was some other Slayer. I'm not sure what dungeon. Daigoku. I think she is a Demon Slayer? Question mark. But very good for Daigoku. But I wouldn't say she is like super OP. But she is a bounce monster, recovery S. Basically putting normal Skilmi and Marishi in one for the most part. And Strike Shot does a lot of damage. Pump Combo does good damage as well. And then Izanagi is good for Skilmi. Although the laser is kind of meh. But the full resistance is really good for mitigating damage if you can't one-shot guys or you leave guys up. Whoa. There we go. And then Tower for Global, I did finish Tower. I rolled really bad. I didn't get any exclusives, so that's why I say it's kind of bad. But I did roll a 5-star, which is Nibelung, and which I already have. So that was kind of sad for me, and I don't feel like evolving her. I mean, ascending her. The evolved version is the better version, and then the ascended form is more for Bisha Mountain. So if you don't have a Bisha Mountain monster, well, even if you don't have, even if you have the ascended form of her, I think the evolution is way better in general. Since the evolution is also a no damage one monster, and the ascension is just as an extra Samurai Slayer, which is good for Uesugi Kenshin in Bisha Mountain, but I think evolution's a little bit better just because of the Strike Shot. Oh, kill it. Okay, there we go. And no drop. But Tower, like the one that I had the most trouble was the 37th floor, just because I didn't have really good monsters. I was running Mika, Shizuka, Gozen, or Lady Shizuka, and then Fenrir X. Like, Mika was pretty much what you call an RNG with the meteor. If I hit the defense down, it's really bad on the first shot. So it's kind of a little RNG there, and of course, and then my friend was a Himiko, I think. Yeah. But I never had that much trouble in 37 before, and hooray for a drop. But I think that was the most trouble. Like, the other dungeons, like that people have most trouble. I think 22nd I had a little bit of trouble, but it wasn't that great. Well, not to the 27th dungeon. And then the rest were relatively easy, in my opinion. But I really don't feel like doing dungeons for it, because it's basically going to be the same as what's on my channel in the JP playlist for the Tower Champions. So I don't feel like just redoing it just for the sake of redoing it, just to be like just to be up there. I'm pretty sure you guys can just search it. And I also have Tower Tuesdays for you guys to check it out. And Excalibur finally for Gilgamesh. Hopefully it will be monthly. I guess not hopefully, because I have to climb tower twice, and that's and that's kind of annoying, but it's okay. Everybody should get started on that. And then of course Ascended Babel is a good thing to work on in the future. Of course you cannot ascend him this week, this month. You have to do it next month, which is just because you don't have enough materials and stuff like that. And for people that are wondering which one is the better form, I think the Ascended form is more for viability. So if you don't have a lot of hatcher monsters, then Ascension is always good. But if you have like all those, like a lot of max lux and stuff like that, then I think the evolution is a little bit more niche, and you should focus on that. Man, 2 straight Excaliburs. Like sometimes, like Gilgamesh is like Excalibur, like 3 stages of Excaliburs only, and then like in other floors it's gonna be like no Excaliburs. So much damage. But I'm going to ascend it just because triple nulls is always good. It does take 7 months to max luck 1 Babel, whichever form you choose. So that's wow, that's crazy. Good thing next one is not Excalibur, or else I'll be really sad. But I need to drain with Pandora, although not that much. Sad face. Need to drain. Oh, next one is Slice. Oh, no, Shockwave. Okay, Alibaba. Nope, no. There we go. Now I'm all healed up. Oh, that Slice! That Slice! I don't know why I'm having so much trouble. Okay, there we go. But yeah. Well, I guess I'm going back to JP a little bit, and of course talk about Final Fantasy. And I did roll lightning in my video, and I'm going to be using it for Monster of the Week. You'll probably have seen it. And then in terms of other videos coming up very soon, Monday is going to be Kane. I mean, not Kane, Arcadia. So I know everybody's been hoping for an Arcadia run from me, so that's going to be happening on Monday. And then Tuesday I haven't figured out what I want to run. Maybe something with a Final Fantasy character in some dungeon. I don't know which dungeon. Probably like, I don't know, Double Squall in 28. That's kind of... I did roll 2 Squalls, that's why. Like Triple Squall, and then have Lightning as as the third, and just like Final Fantasy characters into the 28th floor. So that's doable. Well, I think I have time for one more run. Let's do one more run, although it is only my 3rd run. And then Sunday I have this. Saturday I have Monster of the Week, which is Lightning, and then that's basically it for the weekend. Like recently I stopped doing challenge Thursdays because I don't really have good ideas for challenges, and some challenges are kind of meh that I've thought of, so that's why I stopped doing that. And then, but I did replace it with Tower Tuesday, so I guess everybody should be happy, or everything, it just evens out. It's just that it's all clumped up between Saturday to Tuesday, where I have 4 weekly shows on, and it's not spread out on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But if guys have any other suggestions, then by all means, like maybe sometime in the near future I'll be like 5-star monsters, like Monster of the Week 5-star version. So like 4 5-star monsters will be the highlight, and then I'll bring it to some extreme dungeon, or maybe even impossible. So that's an idea. Or especially with the library, I can pick and choose what extreme dungeon I want, so that's always nice. And other ideas, I don't really have other ideas, but generally that's what I've been thinking for now. You know, as some people know that I've been busy with stuff, and of course I don't want to like officially say it now because it's not like completely done, and people are trying to help me as much as possible. But people that know already know. People who don't know, then you can probably find out relatively easily. You just search random sites and stuff like that. But hopefully it's going to be done within the month. I highly doubt it. Like I said, it's a pretty big project, and it's going to be never ending in my opinion, because the game is evolving and stuff like that. Oh yeah, and talking about evolving, there is going to be Monster Strike Grand Prix for this year in JP. Of course, it's only JP only. Too bad for global guys, but they changed the format in that there's a draft phase where basically you can draft. You draft 4 monsters and you cannot duplicate, and then of course when you're facing off another team, you don't. The teams don't duplicate monsters that way as well. So basically you cannot have 2 teams with 4 of the same monsters and just battle it out that way in terms of time attack. And it does require more strategy, where it's kind of like League or like Dota where you draft and then they also have positions as well. So when you have your team, you basically say that this person is the first guy, this person is the second guy, and then stuff like that. And they say it's going to be on the Monster Strike Stadium app. Well, they never say it's going to be in there, but they say there's going to be a giant update for the Grand Prix, which I hope this is going to be in it. And then that's going to be really cool, because another big change is that you can use any monster you want. So even if you don't have the monster in your JP account, you can use it there. So basically an even playing field. So maybe I can get some people around and then like just battle it out. And then of course with the draft phase, it's going to be more strategic and stuff like that. And I kind of want to do it for like extreme dungeons, but you know, it does give you some practice in that you waste less stamina that way, but you just waste more time trying to practice the dungeons. Maybe they will do it for extremes, but they always make like unique stages, and it's really mechanically challenged dungeons for the most part. But I really want that draft phase set up, and then of course using any monster that you want. Of course they might not be able to do like collab monsters. Yes, finally Cactuars. And they also changed the Cactuars in terms of using them, and you don't have to do it separately and like screw up and then like basically take up so much space in your box. So you just fuse them, and then the max is like 60, and that'll give you 20 luck at Yastras. And you know, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have fused those Cactuars together, and before it's just like only one of them, you can only bring one of them, and it's only copies and not luck, which is really sad for some people. Oh, that critical. Thank you very much. But in terms of, oh, I missed. But in terms of, like, I only had one session of everything so far in terms of the Final Fantasy collab hatcher, and Ultimacia is around 60, Sephiroth is, I think it's around 50, I think. And then Gilgamesh is nowhere near done. And I'm still not done yet. But the dungeons are relatively fun, and then it's really different from like normal extreme, so that's really cool. Like even Gilgamesh is, although it's a little bit RNG, it's not like crazy punishing. As you know, I don't really like RNG dungeons. And then Ultimacia is that meteor book, or just getting that meteor, and then time is kind of like the 39th floor of the tower in a sense, but it's a little bit less punishing in that you can just avoid it naturally and you don't have to grab the meteor to nullify the attack. And then Sephiroth is all about direct attacks and not about bump combos, which is really cool. So it brings more emphasis on slayers and stuff like that. And you don't really and although there are some OPs in terms of bump combos in Pandora and stuff like that, but if you don't have Pandora, then you know you go for slayers like Genome, Succubus, and Maida Keiji, and those monsters. But all in all, like Pandora is really good. It's just for the mob clearing. For the most part, it's not really much for boss damage. That's where like the slayers come in my opinion. Okay, come on. Done. Okay, one more stage. And let's start trick shotting. Deal as much damage as possible. And I haven't played the Savage Quest yet because I've been getting lazy. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be really cool as well. And I still haven't finished. I think I finished the difficulties in terms of the normal extremes. I haven't done like the difficulties for Gilgamesh or the Savage stages, so in time I will do it. And only one drop. But that's going to be it for this week's Random Talk Sundays. Hopefully next week it'll be a little bit more exciting, but I'm pretty sure it's not going to be that much because collaborations going throughout next week as well. NA is probably in a lull because of the tower, and not everybody can handle tower and like a new event series at the same time. So, you know, it's going to be rough in terms of getting material and stuff like that. Maybe if you guys have some suggestions of what you want me to talk about, then by all means comment below. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.